What's going on, guys? DigitalGenepool here with the ORAS Wi-Fi battles. I've never done something like this before. You guys watched anything before me before in the past? I know it's been a while since I've done any recordings, but I am back finally. This battle is for the LBA, the Litheo Battle Association. The Litheo Battle Association is a Twitter-ran group. It's getting very popular. They have a doubles league, this battle league. They have several different things in Elite Four. It's a really cool thing. Just check it out. Follow them on Twitter, which I'll put in the description below. Today's battle is against Anthony 1996. I can't really pronounce his name. I think it's Yil. I'm sorry if I butchered that, man. But he is bringing a Rotom Wash, Darmanitan, Dusclops, Exploud, Crobat, and Tyranitar. I am bringing Heatran, Quagsire, Hydreigon, Florges, Lucario, and Venusaur. I am going to preface this right now. I have never really played singles before. I entered this tournament kind of blind. I watched a little bit of things on YouTube, like Shady Penguin and a couple other ones, but I've never really done it. I'm more of a VGC player, so I'm going to get this battle started. I hope you guys enjoy. If you guys make any mistakes, don't punish me too hard. I do apologize. Again, I am still learning the format, so I go ahead and lead with my Heatran here, and he leads out with his Tyranitar. I'm not really afraid of this thing because I'm with my Air Balloon. He could knock down my Air Balloon if he really wanted to, but I'm not really scared because I really want to get my Stealth Rocks up. So he brings up the sand damage that's going to be taking away everyone's life, and I go for the Stealth Rocks. But he switches out into his Dusclops, trying to preserve his Tyranitar, maybe predicting me to go straight offense right away with the Flash Cannon. And so Stealth Rocks comes out, and I go ahead and go for a taunt on this next upcoming turn. I know Dusclops, it can be a nuisance, it can Pain Splint, it can Will-O-Wisp, and I want to be able to switch into something and be able to take it out with ease. He ends up going for a Nightshade here, just get rid of my balloon, so if potentially his Tyranitar can get an Earthquake off on me. His Dusclops buffed by the Sandstorm, which I really think Tyranitar hurt his team more than anything because of the constant sand damage it took. But I go into Hydreigon here, and he switches out into his Rotom Wash. Rotom Washes are typically bulky, VGC style, and I expect it to be something similar here, maybe a little bit more offensive pressure. I know Resto Chesto is kind of big in singles metagame, so I go for the U-turn and switch into my Quagsire, predicting a Volt Switch to come. I don't really want him to get the momentum against me. That's what I was kind of afraid of that he would do. So his Volt Switch I actually do predict, and goes for the Volt Switch, and I predicted right, obviously, as I just said, but it's going to negate the damage. And Quagsire is just going to sit here, okay, whatever, I'm not going to take sand damage while you slowly tick away. I'm going to go for the Toxic as he goes for a Hydro Pump. I think he was just scouting out to see if I was Water Absorb or unaware or anything. So Toxic comes up, and I'm expecting him to go Resto Chesto. No big deal at all. I can easily switch into my Venusaur at this point. I really didn't want to switch him out in the first place because I really didn't want him to take any damage from the Sandstorm and from the Rotom. And Mega Venusaur, regular Venusaur is less bulky, obviously, so I wanted to be able to take a couple more hits more easily. So Venusaur comes in, and he goes for the Resto Chesto as predicted, and he's ended up just going to hard switch out into his Crobat in this upcoming turn. I know I'm ahead of myself here, so I do apologize, guys. So he goes to sleep, Chesto Berry comes up, comes back, gets rid of the poison, which is a good move on his part. Keep his Rotom secure. So here comes the Crobat, as I said, his Fat Bat. And I'm going to go for the Giga Drain. Really, that was probably about the best thing I could have done. I possibly could have went for a Sludge Bomb, predicting something else to come in. But he's going to 4 times resist this, and I'm barely going to get anything off on him. So Giga Drain goes off. I'm going to end up going into my Heatran this upcoming turn. I'm expecting a Defog. I believe Crobat can run Defog. I'm not too really worried about it because I can bring Heatran back out with the Stealth Rocks, and he can't really do much to Heatran. But he ends up going for Air Slash a couple turns in a row and has Life Orb damage, which I was like, okay. I expected it to be more bulky. I know Golbat can be bulky. I didn't really know much about Crobat, as again, I don't play singles that often. So the Air Slash goes off there, his chip damage goes down, and he actually gets the flinch on me, which kind of upset me, but hacks happen, Pokemon happens, it is what it is. And He goes for another air slash, and I finish him off with the flash cannon, taking down one of his, probably his main threats against my Venusaur, which I think he probably could have preserved a lot better. So his Crobat goes down, and I don't know what to expect what he's going to bring out, and it ends up being the Exploud, which I'm trying to figure out if it's going to be Choice Scarf, Choice Specs. I'm not sure what Exploud's going to come out as, but I know it's going to bring the Boom Burst. So, judging by this damage here, the Boom Burst, I know I'm at 62 in resist. It probably could have KO'd me anyway. Potentially KO'd me, maybe. I'm not 100% sure. But by judging that by that damage, I know it wasn't Scarf, so I can safely bring out my Lucario and do the close combat and knock him out nearly full health after Stealth Rocks. Really, his better play probably could have been to switch out into Dusclops itself to ignore that and save his Exploud. Exploud could have wrecked some damage on my team. So Lucario is actually Life Orb with Swords Dance, a couple other moves. So he brings out the Dusclops. My best switch in is into Hydreigon, and he ends up going for the Will-O-Wisp. Kind of predicted that to come. Slowly getting the chip damage, because any type of damage is good damage in my opinion. Most people will agree on that too. So Hydreigon comes in, he goes for the Will-O-Wisp, and it actually hits Hydreigon. And I'm going to go for the Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse is probably about the best bets. Super effective, it's stab, it's going to do a lot of damage even though it's EV light and bulky. So Dark Pulse goes off, it takes him down to probably about 40%. He goes for the Pain Split to negate that damage. And I knew it was coming, there's nothing else I could really do. My best bet was to try to wear this thing down as much as possible. Burn damage is ticking away Hydreigon, and I really got to get this thing knocked out. So I go for another Dark Pulse. It brings him to about 25%, maybe a little bit less. He goes for a Nightshade, and he brings me down to 23 health, I believe. Yes, and the burn damage brings me down to 2. And really, I think his better play could have been to switch out his Dusclops right there, but I end up getting the KO, and Hydreigon goes down to the burn. Really, I think the better move would be to switch into something that could take the hit and let Hydreigon die. And then if I would have brought my Florges in, he could have Pain Split the Florges and got a lot more damage off. Or gained a lot of health off and being more of a nuisance. So I bring in Venusaur, and he brings into his Darmanitan, and I get kind of ballsy here. I'm not going to lie. I get kind of ballsy. Darmanitan takes a lot of damage to the rocks, and I stay into this Flare Blitz. I think it was probably my better play to do. I probably could have had Heatran. Heatran came out. Heatran died, but really, I mean, it was probably about the best play I could do is leave him in. And I go ahead and go for the Earthquake and knock out Darmanitan. It's probably about the best thing I could have done. I really didn't want anyone else to take damage. Florges probably would have just sat there and took hits. And it was kind of, Florges was useless in this battle. As you see, I don't bring it in. So he brings in the Tyranitar, and I'm expecting it to be its sweeper. Because otherwise he would have probably set up Stealth Rocks at the very beginning. Maybe he was conserving it because of the Flash Cannon pressure. So Quagsire comes out, I switch out. Venusaur could have took on the Tyranitar, but with the Sand Up and the special defense boost, it wouldn't have been worth it. And he's probably going to set up the Dragon Dances, as I said before. And Quagsire, with Unaware that ignores stat changes, comes in, and it's just basically going to negate whatever this Tyranitar is going to do. So for some reason, he's just going to keep on setting up. He goes for one more Dragon Dance as I go for a Toxic. I'm just going to try to stall this thing out. Honestly, really, Quagsire is just going to stall the rest of his team out of Tyranitar and Rotom. And so he goes for another Dragon Dance, as I said. Toxic comes out, and we're just going to see him tick away. So I'm just going to go ahead and commentate off of this now. As you're going to see, I'm going to stall out with Poison, Recover. Tyranitar is eventually going to go down. And I just want to thank you guys for being here right now. It's something different. You know, I like VGC battles a lot. VGC is my thing. I'm probably one of the top 5 players in Indiana. Or at least I was last time I checked about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I wanted to explore my options. I'd never done singles before. Litheo Battle Association had a sign up, and I went to this tournament. Double elimination, and spoilers, I actually made the league as the Muncie Mucks. It's definitely going to be interesting. It's going to be fun, and hopefully I don't do terrible. We had a draft, which I'm going to give an analysis of my team. I kind of went kind of a bulky style like this one you're going to see. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. So let's get back to this battle here. As you can see, the chip damage just is going away. He goes for the Iron Head. Quagsire is going to take this. At this point, I'm like, okay, he just has Rotom. I'm just going to be more of a nuisance. I'm going to recover. I'm going to recover some of this damage back. And I have a full life Quagsire while he switches into his Rotom. So Tyranitar goes down to the poison. Sandstorm subsides. I'm okay with that. At the same time, I'm not. I really want the Rotom to go down. I just really want it to go down, even though Venusaur could roll this thing out. So he goes to the Hydro Pump. It's going to do a lot of damage. Again, I'm just a defensive variant. I don't have a lot of special defense. And Quagsire is not the best wall ever. He's just really used for the Unaware ability. Toxic goes, and it's just going to be chip damage. Recover. I'm going to get Recover from leftovers. He's just going to get damage from the poison. I mean, really, I probably could have just recovered, stalled him out. I really didn't want to do that. I felt like that was a jerk move. I could have even switched into my Venusaur and just Giga Drained at this point, but I said, at this point I didn't care. I knew I had the game in the bag. I mean, I had 4 Pokemon to his 1. Even if he knocks one out, I'm pretty sure he's not going to be able to take on Venusaur. So poison damage is going down. I'm constantly just going to go for Scalds. I'm just going to get some of the chip damage off. I know it's not going to do much because he resists it. And again, he's just going to tick away. Poison's going to bring him down. As you can see here, leftovers again. I'm just being a nuisance. I could have. I think I went for the recovery here just for lulz, but he ends up hitting the Hydro Pump to knock him out. So Hydro Pump hits this last time. Poison's going to tick away, and I bring in my Lucario to finish the game out with a close combat. It was a good game against the guy. Pretty cool guy. We kind of were discussing when we were going to battle. He wanted to get the battle in early, and I was actually prepping this team. Again, as I never played singles before, I was trying to figure what would fit real well. This core I built, Venusaur, Quagsire, and Heatran worked really well. Florges, which supports Lucario and Hydreigon as sweepers to cover some other stuff, and they resist some other attacks that the core doesn't necessarily resist. So I thank you guys for being here. Again, check me out on Twitter. Check out this guy, Anthony1996, on Twitter. I'll put the description below. And also check out the Litheo Battle Association. So, yeah, thanks, guys, for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.